Hey, so I finally made version 2 of the Triadic Chromatic generator. I'll show you how it works. So you drag the device into a MIDI track and give it an instrument and hit the generate button, and then you get a MIDI clip with a melody in it. Cool. So the parameters are the triad type. So you've got the 4 main ones, and random moves between a different triad every 3 notes. You can pick a subdivision of 3 notes per beat or 4 notes per beat. This is the start note and the thresholds here. So as it approaches C#5, it starts to pick triads that generally move in a lower direction, and vice versa for the lower threshold. You can set the velocity for each of the notes in each triad here, so you can have a regular accent if you want, and that's also good for organizing things later if you want to move them around and give them certain rhythmic patterns. And here is just the amount of triads, so you'll get this times 3 as the amount of notes, and this is the clip length. It defaults to be so that whatever amount of triads you have fits into this amount of beats. Cool. So heads up as well, I don't think this works on Ableton 10, but there's probably a way to make it happen on that version if you really want to. And I also just wanted to take the time here to give a bit of background on the patch. It's using a concept by saxophonist George Garzone called the Triadic Chromatic approach to improvisation, and I'll put a link in the description to a short summary of this concept. It's like a set of rules for linking triads together while improvising over chord changes. And the goal of practicing with these rules is to ultimately give yourself more melodic freedom when you improvise over chord changes. But this device uses those rules more like a melody generator, so it's pretty different to what a jazz musician would do with this concept. That said, there are definitely a lot of neat things that you can do with this device. I'd first made it when I was checking out the Garzone stuff because I was interested in how sticking to one triad type kind of gives its own sort of harmonic landscape. So by that I mean that major triads that are linked together sound different to diminished triads that are linked together. And I think that's pretty interesting because the kind of melodies that this approach gives are sort of atonal, but they're not really atonal. So it's kind of a cool plugin to explore what is the harmonic landscape of this melody. And this is diminished by contrast. Cool. Another thing that's pretty neat about it as well that you can do is that by using the velocity parameters, you can also make some pretty wild chord progressions. So here I've just set each one to be a different velocity, and then in the clip you can come down here and kind of pretty easily group them so that they will all fall on the same beat. And kind of get a harmony from it. And then if I just legato everything. So some pretty interesting stuff you can do with that. Cool. I hope you have fun with it, and thank you for watching.